Thanks for checking out this overview of Monolith from Artistry Audio. At its core, this is an extremely flexible bass workstation, but there's so much more. Monolith produces rumbling, floor-shaking bass lines, fat leads, and soaring synths, perfect for dance music, modern cinematic scoring, and a whole host of other genres. These dual-layer animated instruments are overflowing with creative potential, using granular synthesis, motion, and arpeggios. You can even use the expressive engine to mangle your own samples, just drag and drop. More on that later. Monolith runs in Native Instruments' free Kontakt Player with full NKS functionality. The engine is based on technology from our previous Origin X and Scorpio libraries, so if you're familiar with those, you should quickly feel right at home with Monolith. For a taste of Monolith at work, make sure that you've taken a look at the Instruments in Action video, where you can hear lots of sound examples in context. Monolith makes finding your perfect bass presets super easy, using the comprehensive browser to tag and choose the 350 master presets, then customize by selecting FX and motion presets. Within a few clicks you can completely transform the sound. Apply animation using macros and sequencing, and get unlimited inspiration from the intelligent randomization options, which cleverly mutate almost every aspect of the sound. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the most important features of Monolith. This engine really is as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. Maybe you prefer to stick with the main window, using macros and the central knob to adjust the presets, or perhaps you want to really explore the engine, getting into more experimental territory, editing the source sound playback and adjusting motion and arpeggios. Before we dive in, let's have a quick listen to some standout sounds. And keep your eye on this central knob, controlled by my hardware mod wheel. This is automating various parameters of 6 macros: filter, EQ, tube compression, modulation, delay, and reverb. Let's begin with the basics, and I'll start by demoing this reasonably vanilla patch, without any motion or sequencing, so you can hear exactly what's happening. This is the main window. There's lots that you can do on just this screen. As you saw, all presets have 6 effects macro controls mapped to the central knob. Simply drag this knob to hear the effects dialed in as it's twisted. As you can hear, in the case of this preset, only equalizer, tube compression, and reverb are being automated. However, click this link icon and we can switch on the other 3 macros for filter, modulation, and delay. These red and green handles determine the global range being sent to that effect. Of course, you can also adjust the strength of each effect separately, with their individual faders. You can click on each effect either here, or along the bottom just here, to open up the parameters. Once the effects are shown, almost any parameter can be assigned to the macro. Just click in this 3-bar icon, and then drag the red and green handles in the mini fader and the parameter dials. For example, with modulation, we can choose a preset. All of the 6 macro effects have these kinds of presets. Then adjust depth and speed so that they're controlled by the macro. For a different take, you can switch on the sequencer, which controls the 6 macros alongside overall volume and the A-B mix between the 2 layers. Draw in your own sequencers, use presets, or randomization. You can even combine sequencer and central knob control. Let's change the sound and take a quick look at the mixer window. Most sounds are comprised of 2 layers, A and B, mixed between them with this fader. You can see the 2 samples here and here. In this case, a kick style sound and a supersaw. Some basic control can be found: velocity sensitivity, panning, transpose, and volume. You can also adjust the keyboard range of each sound and switch each from mono to polyphonic mode. To change the sounds themselves, you can quickly audition them with the left and right arrows. But that's just the tip of the iceberg for sample manipulation. Let's turn to the presets for a minute, and there are lots of options to get you up and running. Each preset sound consists of 2 cores, A and B. Each of these is assigned a source sound, as you just saw, and also a whole host of effects and automation. Click here to access the main preset browser. In the heading Core Presets, you'll see columns for cores A and B, which will load a new source sound and accompanying effects. You can even filter for style using these drop-downs. Or if you just want to change the sounds and retain each core's effects, head to the Sources menu. Again, there are drop-downs, this time for the types of instruments. On the far right are master presets, which will load sounds and effects for both cores. To the left of that, preset tags. These tags make it easy to find the style of master preset that you're looking for. For example, you can choose something dirty with a stutter effect. Or something with a synth swell. You can favourite your preferred sources, core presets and master preset patches by clicking the star icons, and they'll be remembered even when you close and reopen the instrument. For some quick and dirty randomization, going to the main page and check out these 2 little dice icons. By default, they'll randomize the core preset for cores A and B. You can also set them to randomize source sounds and other page parameters. Just click into the drop down here. At any time, if you want to save your own creation to the main preset list, hit this icon. You can then tag your sound, give it a name, and click Save for it to be added to the list. I just mentioned randomization briefly, but this is one of the standout features of Monolith. Let's say that you love a particular sound but want to hear a few different iterations. Click the little cog here to open the randomization parameters and choose your options. You can pick whether your changes will affect sound sources A, B, or both, and see below for more detailed options for randomization filtering via source, motion, and effects. Just click each legend to select that for randomization, and then the dice in the center to activate. You can even randomize what you randomize with this dice. You can actually see the randomization process in real time if you come out of this screen and open the main, edit, motion, or ARP panels, and then click random just up here. There are many other aspects to Monolith that are waiting to be discovered, so many that it would take me a few hours to explore everything in detail, but I'll touch on a couple of the most fun things before leaving you to have a play for yourself. Open the Edit menu to shape the playback of the source sound. Let me just solo Core A so you can hear what's going on. The waveform is shown here, with playback loop points and an option to playback in reverse. It's really fun to switch to grain mode and experiment with these grain and sample dials for some interesting textures. Don't forget to shape the sound with filters just here. Also use the core effects at the bottom just here to change the sound. There are 4 available, either chosen by you or with the drop-downs. Or you can pick them from a selection of presets. One important thing to mention, for both cores A and B, you can simply drag in your own samples to the engine, then manipulate them in the normal way with full parameter adjustments. Combine playback parameters with the motion engine, introducing volume, panning, filter, and pitch automation, all driven by the central step sequencer or LFO shapes. Again, you can use presets and randomization with the sequencers and LFO. And don't forget that cores A and B can be set up with totally different programming. Lastly, I want to show off the arpeggio section of Monolith. Some presets come set up with ARPs from the get-go, but obviously you can program your own too, or use the presets. Control here is extensive, with velocity, octave, gating, playback probability, stutter effect, and transposing. Choose preset patterns here, including different scale types for the transposing, or just draw in your sequences. Each parameter ARP lane has its own randomization die, along with a lock control so that you don't accidentally change anything. Then up here you can set up specific parameters for the engine to randomize on just one click. So that's the basics of Monolith, never-ending bass inspiration that's completely customizable and filled to the brim with deep, fat, evolving sounds, perfect for hybrid scoring and all modern electronic genres. We can't wait to hear how you'll use Monolith in your own productions. Also, look out for the upcoming Monolith expansions, extending the scope of the instrument even further. For more information, video examples and audio demos, head to artistryaudio.com, and thanks so much for watching.